Before we go, right, let me say this. Come over here, I'm not talking about you, but I'm just using you as an example. And this is something that I'm thinking. When we do this, like the punching, the kicking, and the instructor takes you to the tournaments, you guys compete a lot, you guys good fighters. All of that is really for life's lessons. It's not for just winning the trophy, because that gets old after a while. But it's about setting goals, learning to deal with success, learning to deal with disappointment, learning to check your egos. It develops character, learning to toughen up, learning to ease up a little bit, be patient, help one another. All is learning to be family. It's learning to be obedient, that when you're fighting, you can hear his voice, and if he's saying cut an angle, if he's saying kick and shoulder dead ground, that you can learn to follow directions. But that comes secondary. Your mother and your father, I tell my kids this all the time, your mother and your father are your first senseis. We all understand that? Those are your first teachers. Does this man teach you, yes? Yeah. Teach you good, right? Yeah. Okay. He pay your rent? No. Pay your food? Clothes? Xbox? No. Drive you to school? Pick you up to school? Ice cream? Dinner? Your mother do that, your father do that, and you got the nerve to be disrespectful. Do that make sense? No, it don't. That's crazy. But then when you see him, listen, hey, I got kids that come to my school and they so perfect in front of me. Yes, sir. No, sir. They walk out the door and act like they lost their goddamn minds, and they lost their door. And they start being disrespectful to their parents. And this is something I always say to your little boys. I'm talking to the girls too, but I always say to the little boys, your mother, before you know God, you know your mother first. Because you in her womb, her stomach. And she's your first teacher. Your father ain't your first teacher. Your mother is your first teacher. When you're in her stomach, she's teaching you. And you got the nerve to be disrespectful to your mother. You need your ass whipped. I didn't say a time out. I said an ass whipping. And if I say that, if it's harsh to some of you, get over it. Be respectful of your parents. Be respectful of your parents. See, listen. I told my kids this when I'm playing with them, but I was serious. I said, if a monster comes, this is what my son asked me, Daddy, if a monster come in here and he attacked us, what would you do? You know what I told him? I'm leaving. See, I can have more kids. You only get one parent. We can have 1 million kids. You only get one mother. You only get one father. Have 1 million of y'all. We can have 1 million sons and daughters. Actually, he got about 9 kids. Oh, really? I was joking. Well, be respectful. And if you're good, you're a good little fighter. But what's the use of being good if you can't be respectful? And being a great son, and a great daughter, and a great big brother or little brother. Be respectful to your parents. And if you can't be respectful to your parents, how you gonna respect me? If you could do it to your mother and your father, imagine what you do to me. And if you could do it to the person that feeds you, dress you, clothe you, buy you stuff, bring you to karate, sacrifice for you. If you could be disrespectful to them, what would you do to me? And I don't do any of that to you. But the other side of it is, you got these crazy parents that want to be their kids' friends and make excuses for them. And my little baby, my son, I always want to baby them. Don't want to let their kids fall forward. You got to learn to fail forward. And the problem, I'm not saying you parents, I'm not saying you, I'm just being general. A lot of problem with the parents is that we don't let our kids fall. We always want to catch them. You're supposed to fall. You're supposed to make your mistakes and learn from them. That's how you become young, strong men and women. And I say this to the mothers more than the fathers. We raise our daughters and we make excuses for our sons. Our daughters to cook, clean, do the dishes, watch us to take care of little babies. Our sons sit in the room and play Xbox all day. And we don't make the same demands out of them. We don't make them wash the dishes. We don't make our sons cook meals. But that daughter would. That daughter be in the kitchen with the mother. Raise them little boys up to be young men, not your sons. We raise, and I always tell them, I'll get in trouble. I don't get in trouble. But their parents sometimes get mad at me. But I tell them, call me what you want, but you can't call me a liar. The kids, the man that we say we want to marry, mothers, we don't raise our sons to be that man. We say you want a man who's responsible. You don't let your kids clean up. We say you want a man who's not a mama's boy. As soon as your kids start crying, you let them run to you. We say we want a man who's strong. As soon as they start, you baby them. But the man you want to marry is supposed to have all these attributes, but you don't raise your kids to have those attributes. Let's get it together, parents. Let's get it together, children. Respect your parents. And respect comes in a lot of ways. Disrespect comes like this. When your mother's talking to you. You may not say nothing, but verbally you're still talking to her. This is what my mother used to do to me. When I talk to my mother, to this day, if I did this or this, she's like, which hand is supposed to be? I'm like this. Yes, ma'am. It wasn't no, all right. It was, all of those were signs of disrespect. And she would go, you talking to me nonverbal. I don't need to know what you feel. Stand straight. I'm just saying in general. Be respectful of your parents, guys. It's not about how many, you win all the world champions at work. If you're a creepy kid, you're a creep. Don't be a creepy kid. Be a good mother and father. And that's what part of being a black belt is. And that's what part of being a martial artist is. You all understand it? Yes? Thank you. Let's get started, guys. Thank you. $79. $79.